Okay, good evening, everybody. It is Sunday, the 28th of August. My name is Danny Wells, and I am an independent consultant with Arbonne International and Regional Vice President. And this week, we're going through week 9 of the income producing activity from our 90-day program. And then I'm going to hand it over to the wonderful Clare Rowsell Smith, who's going to share her story and everything that she was. You're going to be amazed by her stories as well. Everything she was pre-Arbonne, how she heard about Arbonne, why she got involved with Arbonne, and then her journey so far, and then some of her top products. And then I'll stop the recording, and as usual, we can all have a bit of a chit chat until the big team call at 9 o'clock. So I'm just going to share my screen and do this week's IPA. Okay, so this is week 9. So last week, I just want to share the photos from last week. So week 8 was, to remind everybody, to write your own Eye on Arbonne story. And I've read some people's Eye on Arbonne stories this week, which were lovely. I really enjoyed reading those. If you haven't already wrote yours or posted it, please do. So that was task 1. And then task 2 was to listen to this call on how to speak to strangers to book appointments, and then speak to a stranger this week and book an appointment from the conversations. That was from Jerry Roysenthal's training. Number 3 was to go into the source, type in Learn and Burn, and then find one recorded Learn and Burn that you like, print off the script and have it on your phone, or print it off, whatever's easiest, and then record yourself delivering that information. Now, those calls vary from 5 minutes to an hour, and you can choose it on business, you can choose on products, and then just re-deliver that information. I've watched Ruth's today, which was really, really great. And then number 4 was to practice napkin presentations 1 to 4 from the Don Failer book, Own Your Life, or 45-second presentation with your spouse, with your friend, or with another consultant, and take some photos. And we saw some great funny photos from that. So those were the 4 tasks for this week, and people have loaded their photos to the album in the Do More page under week 8. So we've got some Eye on Arbonne's in there. If you haven't read other people's, then do, because they are great. People have took some time to write those. They're really, really great to read. Then you can see there's some photos from people listening to the recording from Jerry Roysenthal, how to speak to strangers. We've got the Don Failer napkins and Ruth there practicing her napkin presentations. And Ruth did a really, really great recording from the Learn and Burn, as I say. So that was the photos from this week. So Ruth, are you free to talk or not?
Yeah, okay, I can talk.
How did you find this week? Because you completed all of the tasks this week.
No, I didn't.
Which one did you not do?
There's one little bit that can I swear?
Yeah.
I'm so pissed off with myself.
Which one? I thought you did all of them.
No, there's the one little bit where we had to speak to someone in the cold market and actually book an appointment. Now, I spoke to her and I was prospecting her. She didn't know I was. And then I absolutely bottled it at the last minute because there was someone stood behind me in the queue. And I honestly, all the way home, I was absolutely kicking myself.
Ruth, yeah, but you did more than what most would have done. So you should absolutely say well done to yourself, because that's more than what many people would have done. Well done, you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I know she is going to uni to study HR and business studies, and I know everything about her. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it. I really am kicking myself. But other than that, I did everything.
How did you get on with the Learn and Burn? How did you find finding that? Did you have to listen to a few before you found one that you wanted to do?
Yeah, I did. I looked at a few. I definitely wanted to do one on the business side because I do feel that is my weakness. And I thought, do you know what? I need to find some good training, something that will help me. And I really found that helped me. So yeah, it was really good, really good. I wouldn't mind doing some proper training on that, actually. That would be good.
Oh, no problem. We can get you. Oh, well done, Ruth. That was great. Okay, so this week we're actually, by popular demand, so I've actually had people actually ask for this, we're actually going to do again the same as what we did on week 6, I think it was, which is the daily 5 towards IPA. Now, this is what I've had the most feedback from people saying that they absolutely loved this. It gave them a structure. They found that it was really doable. So people have actually said, can we do it again? So yeah, we're bringing it back for week 9. So what we're doing for those of you that can't remember or have only just joined the 90-day IPA late, is you're choosing 5 days this week. So today's Sunday. Between this Sunday and next Sunday, choose 5 days this week to dedicate 1.5 hours to. You can do more if you want, but that's the minimum. And in that 1.5 hours that you're going to do 5 days this week, you need to read 1 chapter of a book, take a selfie with your book, make 1 new connection, and that can be a friend online, somebody that you meet in the cold market. If Ruth goes back to speak to that lady, that can obviously be that lady. So making 1 new friend. Book 1 appointment. Now, when we did this last time, that was my weakness. So I'm actually quite glad that this has come back, because I can really work on that this week. That was my biggest downfall with this, but it's always great to work on your downfalls. We're also going to spend a little bit of time, maybe about 15 minutes, doing some follow-up messages, speaking to people, following up, doing phone calls. And then lastly, the 5th one is to listen to an audio or a recording or a training, or go on to online university for about 20 minutes. So you've got a bit of a time structure there. By all means, you can do more, but that's the minimum. So I've drawn it out here in my diary. So I've already put in my diary for next week where I intend to do my 1.5 hours of my IPA. The only thing is, I forgot that actually we're at AAC on Thursday and Friday, so I'm going to have to move that further up. I actually thought, I'll do it after the school run, so I'll put it in for after the school run. I'm not doing the school run on Thursday and Friday because I'm at AAC, so I'll have to change that in my diary. So I've already filled in into my diary where I'm going to do 5 days of 1.5 hours of the daily 5. And then there's a picture that goes through little reminders about what you have to do, and I can share that on the page. So, Claire, I'm just going to unmute you. What do you think to that for this week?
Woo! Yes, that's doable, because my kids are still off school for another week, and yeah, I find it quite difficult to fit it in because they're quite time consuming, and they're not the kids that will go off and do their own thing for very long, and they fight. So that's, yeah, I like that. I like the hour and 30 minutes. It's really doable for me. And
it's good as well, because then you get to actually focus 1 hour and 30 minutes on Arbonne time, and it means that the rest of the time you can focus on your kids or focus on whatever else it is you want to focus on, rather than blurring the lines. Because I used to find that I was doing a bit of Arbonne here with the kids, and I was not really with the kids, I was not really with Arbonne, and it was not balancing. So by doing this, I found on the week that we did it before, that I got to actually focus on Arbonne, and then when that hour and a half was over, I got to focus on the kids.
Yeah, definitely. They're not tugging at you going, oh, you've been doing it for ages. You said you weren't going to do it for very long or be on your computer. You told me I can't have the iPad and you're on it. So, yeah, it's better.
Great. Okay, so that is this week's 90-day IPA. So well done, everybody that managed to do some of the tasks for week 9. So this is, no, for week 8, sorry. So this is week 9, and I'll share the call afterwards, but for now I'm going to stop sharing. That's the 90 days done, and I'm going to hand you over to the very lovely Clare Rowsell Smith. Now, Claire I met online earlier on in the year, and hopefully she'll share how we actually met and how we actually got in touch with one another. She's just an absolute ray of sunshine. When I first met Claire, which was in a pub, going to see Scott Campbell and Leanne Davis do a DA, she literally came bouncing up to me and she was like, hi, I'm Claire. And I honestly thought, oh my God, I've met like my soulmate. She's just so lovely and so bubbly. And like, if she was a colour, she'd be yellow. She's so absolutely, oh God, I love her. And I thought I knew Claire like fairly well. So, you know, Claire's like quite a close friend of mine. I absolutely love her to death. And then she dropped the bombshell this week and told me she used to be a police officer. And hopefully she'll talk about that. And then she dropped another bombshell and said she was in Notting Hill. I was like, bloody, I don't know this girl at all. Like, my husband was like, I thought you were supposed to know Claire. I was like, clearly I don't know anything about her. So actually, I've got my notepad, Claire. So I'm going to write down everything that you said. I actually know you going on from here. So thank you so much, Claire, for sharing your story. I'm going to introduce you now, Clare Rowsell Smith.
Hi. Hi everyone, I'm going to share my screen.
Did you hear that song was I'm a Freak?
Did I hear what?
That song was I'm a Freak, look. I didn't choose it.
That's really nice. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to kind of get straight into it really. I'm a little bit nervous. I feel a bit like I'm going to be doing I don't know where my bit of my screen has gone. I feel a little bit like I'm doing this for Danny's benefit. Because she's got kind of a fascination with my life, I swear.
You have an interesting life. You're so interesting.
Oh, I can't, for some reason, my screen's not wanting to share properly. Hang on.
Have you made a slideshow?
I have. I've made one.
Oh!
Hang on a minute. Let me stop sharing. It's my menu's not coming up when I share. I hate computers sometimes. Okay, let me try again.
I'll put some music on while you're doing it.
I don't want to do it.
Is it in PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Well, can't you just type PowerPoint into the search bar?
Not coming up. Search bar. Oh no!
What if you stop screen sharing? Can you type it in now, like without screen sharing? Is the search bar
Yeah,
then?
okay, here we go. How? I know. I need to minimize my Zoom, I think. Sorry, everyone.
So unprofessional.
We're just done. Are we waiting for me to sort it out? Okay. Okay.
Have you found it? I'm glad that you practiced it beforehand.
Let's see if I can screen share again. Share screen. Oh, I'm in it. We're winning. We're on my way. Okay. I hope I won't forget anything, or if anyone does find something quite interesting that I'm saying in here and you want to stop me and ask a question, that's absolutely fine. I won't lose my nerve or anything, so don't worry about that. Okay, my why. Woo! I feel like it's not that impressive. We'll see. Okay, so my why is a bit like my life story and my CV, because Danny really wanted to know. Okay, my why by me. Okay, so this is me and my sister. I don't think you can see it that well because I'm screen sharing. Look, there we go. Can you see us with our little noses? Okay, so I'm an identical twin. I'm the youngest of 8 children, so quite a big family. Me and my sister started dancing from the age of 3, and we absolutely loved it. So we had like a performance in our genes. So there's me and my sister with our mum and dad, with our dad as well. So yeah, we were inseparable. We were like, my sister's name is Gemma, and when we were growing up, when we were growing up, we were known as Gemma Clare, because people couldn't tell us apart. We were really alike. And when we were younger, my mum and dad, after we were born, had little bands made, little silver bands with our names on them, because they couldn't tell us apart either. So Gemma is still my best friend. We're still really, really close as well. Haven't got her to join Arbonne. I'm working on it. These first twins. Okay. So I had a really happy childhood. I was very, very lucky. And I started dancing from a really young age. And me and my sister kept that up. So I was, from the age of about 6, I was dancing virtually every day after school. Tap, modern, ballet, contemporary dance, all of that. I absolutely loved it. During my teens, I wasn't a particularly difficult teenager, and I kind of put it down to that, really, because I was far too busy doing dancing to get into too much trouble, although there was the odd occasion. Not going to go into that. Okay, so when I was in my late teens, I was about 17, then I was an extra in a few films, so I really had a love for performing. Although my background was really mainly dance, I did some singing lessons as well and some acting lessons. So I couldn't find a poster for one of the other films. It was a really small Channel 4 film called Mojo, and I was just in like a crowd scene where a singer is singing. And there's me with blue hair in Notting Hill. I think Danny posted them on the Do More pages or something. Oh, yeah. The Hello Future, I think it was.
Me and Ian at the film because of it.
It's quite a funny film. It's good. I've met quite a few people. I've met Hugh Grant as well. He was absolutely lovely. He wasn't difficult at all. He asked me loads of questions, and he called me the Cookie Monster. That's where the name, I think I might be credited on there. I can't remember, because I've got the blue hair. And I was only sort of about 17, and I couldn't even talk but squeak yes and no when he was talking to me. But he was a really nice guy. I've met Colin Firth as well. He's really nice. A couple of other actors as well. And actually, to be honest, my experience within the film world was really quite positive. Everyone was really nice to me. Everyone was super helpful. All the crew were really helpful as well. I didn't see any particularly difficult behaviour. Really lucky, and I love being it. The only thing I didn't like was the waiting around. There was so much waiting around on set, and you eat a lot when you're waiting. So after I was an extra in a few films, I didn't have much time to do anything else because I went to university. I think that's on the next slide. Oh yeah, there we go. So me and my sister went to college together to study dance and drama and performing arts, and we also went to university together. We were inseparable. We lived together, we did our dancing together, we did our drama together, we did everything together. I'm in the red dress, red Chinesey dress. That's me when I was about 18. The other photograph is me and my sister with my other sisters who all got black hair. Me and my sister are quite light-haired, but yeah, so that's some of our family. There is 8 of us in all. So I really enjoyed uni. I got to do art the whole time, like performing, putting on stuff, directing stuff. I just loved it. We had to get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and do an hour's dance class every morning, but I didn't care. Didn't care if I was hungover or anything. I would just drag myself in and do it. That's the one thing I guess I can having in common with starting Arbonne really, is when you really do love something and you really want to do it, you will get up. I've been reading Miracle Morning recently. So you will get up and you will do it, and it might take you a little while to get used to it and not to feel like grumpy when you're doing it or when you're trying to message people back about things, but you will keep on doing it and you won't give up. So yeah, my life took a massive dramatic change after university. So I'd been doing performing from the age of 3, really. I've been in loads of different dance shows. My first dance show, I was 3 as well. So I'd been doing stuff since I was 3. And when I was 21, I'd been doing this so much. I kind of wondered what a normal life would be like, as well as I went to auditions. And I was really massively skinny at this point, right? And I went to auditions and they kept saying I was too fat and I was too big. I was so much smaller than I am now. There was like nothing of me. And I got really kind of like upset with this. And I thought, well, I don't want to do it anymore. If people are just going to, I'm just going to go and people are going to say I'm too fat to go and dance on a cruise ship. I can't be bothered with it. So that kind of led me on to just going, well, I want to do something else. Now, I'd done my holiday time in university. I'd gone and worked in a Crown Court as like taking notes during loads of different things that went on in the court. I'd sit in front of the judge, take loads of notes. I'd have a tape. It was old-fashioned then. I'm reasonably oldish. And you'd have a tape and you'd have to record everything that was going on in the Crown Court on the tape. Now that got me in like an interest in law as well. So I thought, wow, this could be great. I could go into law and I could just see what it's like. So I went to go and see about becoming a barrister at first. A barrister, me! Oh my goodness! And they said, because I was only 21, it was a place in London, a college in London, and they said, go away and get some more life experience, and then you can come back in a few years. And I said, oh, okay, that's great. And then I thought, I'll join the police. And they were looking for people, and I joined, and I made it in some reason. I don't know how. So I joined the police. That's me in my police uniform. getting my certificate for joining, I looked so young, and I was 21. I did it for about 2.5 years, and I did really look quite young for my age. I've got all sorts of stories from it. I've arrested loads of people. I have told people off. I've been kicked. I've been punched. You name it. It's a tough job. It is a really tough job. While I was there, I met my husband as well. I thought he was just a little bit of I thought he was a bit of an arrogant idiot, to be honest. Because he'd walk around really confident around the station, and I only knew him to say hello to. And then one day, sort of like, we got chatting a bit more, and he asked me out, and kind of like we went on a date, and I realised he wasn't quite like that, and it was like a front, really, because you've got to be super confident to be in that sort of job. Now, I wasn't really. I was bullied quite a lot at work, because I think it's because I looked really young for my age. I was quite small as well, and I didn't really get on in there at all. Once someone, that sort of place is quite institutionalized, and once someone has decides something about you, and I think this goes for life really, once someone decides something about you, it's really, really difficult for them to change their mind. So I was talking to someone the other day about Arbonne, and about when you first start doing Arbonne, you were like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get to MVP. This is bloody brilliant. This is excellent. I'm going to do it. And then you tell people about it, and they go, no, you're not. You're like that 18-year-old that used to get really drunk in the pub, and I used to have to hold your hair back. And you're that person that got fired from your job, and all of these sort of things. They've got all these misconceptions about you, and they can't see you being a success. And it's a bit like that there as well. So once someone decides something about you, it's very difficult for them to get a different point of view, and you kind of have to prove people wrong. Now, I'd had enough in there, and I did leave after 2.5 years. It wasn't really for me. I joined it really because I had the interest in law, but I also wanted to help people. So the police isn't necessarily about helping people, really. I'd say it's more about statistics, really, for the government, and trying to get the best result, really. But you don't have a massive amount to do with victims. So I decided to leave. I then went on to train in millinery. I've got an interest in loads of things. I think I'm like most people that have interest in totally loads of different things, really. So I went to go and train in millinery. I went off for a week's course. That's me with one of my hats. And I set up my own business doing this. Here, I've got another thing as well.
That was making hats, isn't it, Claire?
Making hats, look. I've done a couple of tiaras. Look, I don't know if you can see that.
It's nice.
I have another one here. It's one of my favorites. I made it.
Wow. You're like the Mad Hatter.
I have loads of different ones in my loft, but they were too big. I couldn't get them down. So that's a couple of them. I really wanted to make a go of this business, and I got my first client that wanted me to make something, and I'd only just set it up when actually suddenly my dad passed away. So my dad my mum and dad weren't, when I went to university, my mum and dad weren't going through a very good time, really. My dad was drinking a lot, and my mum went off with someone else. And there wasn't really much I could do about it anyway. You know, I was an adult and I'd moved away from home by then. And I tried to be quite supportive to both of them. But even in your 20s, if something like that happens, it's quite difficult to cope with. So about 7 months after my parents split up, my dad went off to live with my other siblings who were up near Newcastle. And my mum got the majority of the money in the deal when they divorced. But my dad didn't get much at all. So he went to go live in a caravan, and it broke my heart, really. This is a man that I was so close to my dad. He was like he was, apart from my sister and my husband, he was like one of the closest people ever to me. I just loved him. He was the best. When he went to live up north, I missed him like crazy. I cried all the time. Anyone that's lost someone knows the massive heartbreak you go through. I miss him every day. He missed my wedding. He missed my children being born. I know he would have loved to be there. I know he would have loved to, met my children, and they would have loved him. He was such a fun dad to me, and he would have been such a fun granddad. So not long after my parents split up, a couple of months, he was living in a caravan near it wasn't a horrible caravan. It was really nice, and it was on a golf course. It was nice, but he developed cancer of the liver and the gallbladder. Survival rates are really, really low for that. And about 4 months after he got diagnosed, he passed away. He went downhill really quickly. We always thought up until about a week before he died that they would give him some sort of chemotherapy or something, because that's what he was told, but he just never got well enough to have it. So it was a massive, he died when he was about 24, and it was a massive shock to me. I thought that my dad was one of those people that would live forever, because he was like a Superman to me. He was my hero. He was the funniest person I ever knew. He told the best jokes ever in the world. He gave the best cuddles. I'm really lucky that I can still remember, what it's like to give him a cuddle, what he smelt like, what his laugh was like. And I think that's really something for people to hold on to when someone does pass away. So yeah, that was a little while ago now, but it still feels like it's not that far away. But something that does remain with me, that's that fact that he worked really up until he was about 70. He worked up until not about a year before he died, up until my parents split up, really. And because he couldn't afford to retire, he couldn't afford to. And he didn't want to work. He wanted to go and potter around. He wanted to do his own thing. He wanted to get up when he wanted in the morning. And I thought, I think this will resonate with a lot of people, really. I don't really want to work till I'm 70. I don't want to feel like I have to work. I mean, if you want to work and it's fun, that's fine. But I don't really want to do that. And he did it because, there wasn't another way, really. Even though he got a pension. But pensions aren't really, even if you get a good one, they're not really good enough now. During this time, I was with Jeff. I wasn't with him for very long. I think we'd been together for about 7 or 8 months, I think, when he passed away. Jeff was my absolute rock, really. I couldn't believe that this guy had stayed with me when my dad had passed away, because I was constantly crying all the time. I did that thing that some people go out and do, and they get drunk a few times, and he's like holding my hair back and stuff. And not that I drink very often now. I was telling Danny the other day, I really don't drink very often. But he was so supportive. I think I'll go on to the next slide now. Anyway, so we'd only been going out, I think, about 7 or 8 months, about 8 months, I think it was, when we got engaged. So we went over to, with part of the money my dad had left me, we went over to New York for a little holiday, because I never had any money and I couldn't afford to go on a holiday. So we just decided we were going to go. And during that time, it was my late dad's birthday. And when we went there, we went up the top of the Empire State Building, and he proposed to me on my dad's birthday. And it was so emotional, and it was really wonderful. It was because it could have been a sad day. It could have really been a sad day. But I'm not really one for, moping around too much, although I think I had cause. But it was really lovely. And then about 2 years later, we returned and we got married in New York. And there's me getting married. Woo! Danny, you can kind of see my dress, can't you?
The dress is lovely.
Yeah, it was pricey, I tell you. But yeah, it was wonderful. We went for a whole week. It was just great going there. We had really good weather as well. We were really lucky. So it took me a long time to even get quits with it. Here we go. Here's the rest of the family. So not long, around about that time as well, I started, I'd left the police, I think, a few months before a few months before my dad died, I'd left the police and I started working in the ambulance service as a call taker. It was doing shift work, 12-hour shifts. They were quite long. And then I was a PA to, there were like doctors in the control room that would give people advice over the phone while the ambulance was running, really. So, and I really did enjoy it for a time. And then we had a baby. We had Charlie in August 2008, and there he is. There's Charlie with his little funny little face here, little screwed up face like kids are when they're first born. And there's him about 6 months old, looking super cute. We then had another boy, Sam, 20 months afterwards. I thought it was a really good idea. I can honestly say having a baby and a toddler, that first year, oh my goodness, if you can get through that first year, you can get through anything. I literally was living off no sleep whatsoever. Coffee, paracetamol, and makeup were my friend. So, yeah, that's little Sam, and that's both of them together. So, after that as well, I then decided, after we'd had the children, I'd been working at the ambulance service for about 7 years, just taking calls. And that's quite, has anyone seen the programme on telly about call taking?
Is it 999 What's Your Emergency?
Yeah, yeah. So if anyone's seen that, it's quite difficult for 7 years working 12-hour shifts with people shouting down the phone at you. And I was so patient because I know that people are really stressed. It's the most stressful time in their life when they phone an ambulance. So, but I'd had enough really by then, and I was tired working shifts. So from having children really, I had a passion for breastfeeding because I really loved it when I had my children. I was quite lucky that I didn't find it particularly difficult at all. But I did go through some difficulties, and I thought, oh, why don't I do that? So I became this breastfeeding support worker for the NHS, and I absolutely loved it. It wasn't very highly paid at all. I had to drive for about an hour to get to work, an hour home again, excuse me. And I worked 4 days a week. So in all, I was probably away. I used to drop them off at school in the morning, and then my in-laws used to pick them up, and I used to get home at 7:30 at night time. So it's quite long hours for not a hell of a lot of pay. I also, at that time, I returned to the stage after like a 10-year break, because in that 10 years, you know, other stuff in life happens, doesn't it? And I'd had my kids. And then, but my youngest was 2 by this point, and I thought I really, really want to do it. So I found a local group near me, and I started doing shows, and there's me in the shows, me with some of my friends I've done loads of shows with, me in character. That's me on there. Sorry, I got the picture from Time Hop. Does anyone want to see me in something? Because I've got something on here.
Yes.
Okay, if I can do it, I will. Hang on. Should I show you afterwards?
Okay.
I don't want to lose it, you see, because my screen share, was playing up earlier. Okay, so I will show you afterwards. I will.
It's not you naked, is it? We don't.
I'm not naked. Did you say I was naked?
No, I said, is it you and Jeff naked? Because we don't want to see that.
No, no one wants to see that. Jeff's over 40 and I've had children.
Yeah, but you use Arbonne. We
do use Arbonne, so it's not so bad, I guess. Okay, so yeah, I love being in shows. I've been in four musicals, and I've been in about 3 adult pantos as well. I love adult panto. Oh my gosh, if anyone's ever seen adult panto, you'll know. And if you haven't seen adult panto, see it. I'm going to be in it again in January. Plug, plug, plug. So watch out.
We should organise a team day out. Is it in Wellingborough?
It's in Bedford. Yeah, in Bedfordshire.
We should do a team day out and come and watch you.
Yeah, come and watch. It's so much fun. It's super rude. Super rude. Super crude as well.
Do you get naked?
I love it. No, thankfully not. I usually look like this. This is me in adult panto here. I look really attractive. The girls never make. There's 2 girls that write it and direct it, and they never let me look attractive at all. I always look awful, which is fine. I'm cool with that. I'm a character. Okay, so yeah, I'm now directing my first show since being at university. So I directed loads of shows at university. I'm now directing another one. Oh look, this is when I was in Little Shop of Horrors, adult panto again, and this is my boys. I was so proud that last year they came to see me in a show. That was the first time they'd seen me in a show, because all the ones that I did before weren't suitable for them to see. So, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. And they love all the songs from that show. So they were playing it in the car again today. So yeah, I'm directing a show. That's going to be in October. I'm quite happy about that. I get to be quite bossy. I love that. I love being bossy. Okay, so that's kind of where I am now. Although what I didn't say was in April, I had to give up my job as a breastfeeding support worker. So I gave that up because when I was at work, I worked really long hours. I didn't get home till 7 or 7:30 at night time. My husband's a police officer still as well. And so when we were both at work, my in-laws used to pick up my kids and look after them for a few hours, about 3 or 4 days a week after school. She got, a couple of years ago, she got diagnosed with lung cancer, my mother-in-law, Lynn, and she has had part of her lung removed. But then after that, it came back. So it came back about 18 months ago, and she had some more chemotherapy. I pushed my hours down, so I went from 4 to 3 days a week then, but it's still quite a lot. And then this year we decided that, she kept going to appointments and they kept saying, it hasn't grown, but it is still back. And we took the decision that I would leave work because I don't think it was fair. We don't really know how long she's got. It hasn't grown as yet, but it's still there. But they can't give her any sort of time frame, but they have said that eventually she will succumb to it. So we don't know how long she's got really, and we took the decision that we wanted her to have time with the children when she wanted to, and her grandchildren, because my husband's an only child, so they're her only grandchildren. So rather than making her feel like she has to babysit, it's nice for her to now take them out on day trips out really. Oh, okay. Sorry, one of my children's just come in now. Okay, thank you. He's given me puppy. This was mine when I was a child, and he borrowed it now. Right. So, we knew that money would be really massively tight because it already was. Anyway, we've got quite a big. All right, can you go upstairs? Okay. He needs to be right next to me, apparently. Bye. I forgot where I was. I forgot where I was.
Was it about you said to Lynn you were going to stop working so that she could just
do what
she wanted, and then that's where you got us up to. So you'd stopped working.
Yeah, I've stopped working. Yeah, so money's always been massively tight. I came from a family where money was really tight all the time. Looking after 8 children and trying to finance them and even do the washing for them is just ridiculous. I can't even imagine how my parents managed really. And my parents always put everything on cards or loans or borrowed. And actually I followed suit, and it doesn't feel good at all. I remember getting my first credit card when I was about 18. I went to the bank and I opened a bank account, and they said, do you want a credit card? And I went, yeah, all right. I didn't even know how it worked. I thought it was free money. Okay. So I literally didn't have a clue. And from that moment on, I swear I've been in debt the whole time. And it's gone spiraling. And having a mortgage is one thing, but all of the rest of the stuff is another. And it's not, we are quite on top of it now, although things are massively tight. But I do remember a few years ago going, I think I mentioned this to Danny once actually. I do remember about 3 or 4 years ago going through a state where I knew some debt collector was knocking on the door, and I'd hide and I wouldn't open the curtains or the blinds at the front of the house. And that feels awful. It feels absolutely awful. And I never want to be in that position again. And at the moment, we're in a position where we're kind of managing, but we are just floating with our heads above water at the moment. And I'm fed up of it. And it's so stressful trying to manage it and trying to get like money from here and money from there and going, oh, we'll hold off on that bill this month so that we can pay that one because that one's behind. And it just feels crap. Anyone else that's been in that position, it feels crap. So my first little bit on here, these are lots of different pictures about what I would like. My first little thing here, I am debt-free. Oh my God. To be debt-free would feel amazing. Absolutely amazing. You know, I don't mind so much about a mortgage. It's all the other rubbish stuff. And I don't even have that much debt. Not really. So that's my first thing that I'd love to be able to do. So now, other things I've got, this is almost a bit like a vision board I've got here. So my kids have never, ever been on a proper holiday either. We haven't been on a proper holiday since our honeymoon, which was, we went 6 months after we got married, we went to the Maldives, which was beautiful. Here's a picture of the Maldives here. Beautiful, but we borrowed again to go on it. We borrowed money to go on that trip, and it was beautiful. I don't want to borrow to go on another trip again. My kids have never been on a proper holiday. We've been camping. We've been to Wales with my in-laws. But we've never been on a proper family holiday, I'd say. They've never been on an aeroplane, and I'd just love for them to do that. We send our children to a little village school, but this other village is next door to our village that we live in, and it's quite wealthy. And all of the other kids there have been on holidays. All of the other kids there are going, I'm going to Egypt, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. And, you know, we stayed in this place with a water park. And, you know, my kids, they're really nice, and they're quite down to earth, my children. And they've never asked to do it and asked to go on it. But occasionally they mention it, and I go, oh, that's really, really nice. And then they go, do you think we could go on an aeroplane? And I go, I don't know. So I'd love to do that. This is a picture of Italy. I'd love to go to Italy. I really want to go. And you know what? I just want to go to eat. I want to go to eat because I just love Italian food. And it just looks beautiful whenever I've seen it on telly or anything like that. It looks wonderful. This is New York. I want to take my kids back to New York because we loved it. We've been 3 times, all before children, I have to add. Borrowed money to go every time. But I love it there. This is a picture of how I'd like my house to be, all minimal and gorgeous. And I've got an allotment, but it looks awful at the moment because I haven't had time to do anything. So I'd love someone to help me with my allotment. I'm not asking any of you to help me, by the way. I'd love to get a garden. If you do want to help me, you know, feel free. This signifies the stage, really, because I'd love to be able to do more. What I'd love to do really is do more, give back to charity really more, and do Arbonne and do more theatre work really, without having to worry about money or financing. I'd love to finance my own show because at the moment I don't finance it. Someone else does when I'm in it. That's the car. Love the car. Want to get the car. And this signifies everything really. I just want, you know, more freedom and more money for me would equal more love, which sounds really strange, but I think if you don't have loads of debt hanging over your shoulders and you have a little bit of spare money to do stuff, then you're not going to feel as stressed. So that will equal, you know, everyone in the family just being more loving really, in my eyes. So yeah, I said before I really want to give back. So I do really want to give back to charity, but I'd absolutely love, there's my mother-in-law here. That's my mother-in-law. So I would absolutely love to give back to my mother and father-in-law. They have been really supportive of us, and financially as well. We've borrowed quite a lot from them. So I'd love, my mother-in-law really wants to go to see the Roman ruins in Italy, I think. And I'd love to pay for her to go. You know, I don't know how much time she's got left, so I'd love to do it. I love to do it. I've got to get to an RVP so I can do it for her. I'd love to just go, I've paid for it for you. It's done. You can go. I'd love that. This is me and my kiddies and my mum as well. My mum has bailed us out so many times financially. Mum, we've got a flat tire and we can't pay for it. Please, please, we need to get to work. Please, can you do it for us? You know, I owe my mum so much. And she's trying to do a house up at the moment. My mum is 72. That's her there. That's quite a reasonably recent picture that was taken last year. So I'd love to give back to her as well. I'd love to give her a few £1,000s and say, you can finish a bathroom, you can do it. And you know, she'd be so happy with that. Now here's my husband with my kiddies. That's Jeff. He's worked for the police for 18 years, shift work, and he's fed up with it now, really. He's been diagnosed with high blood pressure, and luckily it took a few months to realise that there wasn't anything else wrong, but we did go through a time when we weren't sure if anything else was wrong, and he just wants to get out of the police because he finds it immensely stressful. It's kind of, there's a real big blame culture there as well. So instead of the organisation, I won't go into too much, but instead of the organisation saying we made a mistake in our policies, our documents, they try and pin things on police officers themselves. So you should have known this obscure law from 1708 and stuff like that. So, you know, the rate that police officers get hauled into the office to get ticked off about something and go, you're going on a report and things like that is just ridiculous. And he's a DC. He's been working there for 18 years. He knows what he's doing, but they are trying to push out police officers that have been there for a long time now because they get paid a higher wage. Now, police officers that are employed nowadays, they start off on £17,000 a year. £17,000 a year, that's nothing. I'd rather work in an office. He gets paid more than that, so they're trying to push people out like him. And he just finds it really stressful now. He doesn't want to do it. He's got high blood pressure. He wants to chill out a little bit more. And I'd love to retire him. I'd love to do that. And he can go on, he's quite artsy, so he can go and potter off and play his guitar and do his little art projects and things. He studied art at university. So I'd love to give back and do that to him, for him, really. Sorry, I feel like I've been a little bit waffly. So we've got a little saying since I've been doing Arbonne in my house, because I feel like I've discovered that you can strive for more that you've got. You know, there's no reason why you have to sit at the level you are. There's no reason why you have to stay at someone else's perception of you, if you know what I mean. So I'm not the same person I was sort of 15, 20 years ago. I'm not that 18-year-old kid anymore. I'm someone completely different. And I think as a human being, we do grow and we develop and we change our ideas. And I think that's a really good idea to keep an open mind. And I wanted to instill a little bit of that in my children. So I always tell them, is it going to work? Oh, no matter how hard it is, no matter how hard it gets, I'm going to do it.
I love that. That is brilliant.
And every one of you can do it too. Every one of you. Not just me.
Clare,
so let me come out of this.
That was fantastic. You were going to show us something at the end as well.
Oh yeah, let me stop screen sharing and I can bring it back. Hang on.
That was really, really fantastic, Clare. It was so lovely to see everything that you've been doing up until Arbonne. And there was the people on the chat were saying what a colourful life you've had, how many interesting things you've done, good genes in your family, and just so much praise for you as a person.
Oh, thank you everyone. Okay, I'm going to see if it'll work. I can't promise it'll work. And I don't really like, oh God, where's it gone? Okay. I don't really like watching myself. So believe it or not, I've never actually watched this. Hang on. Okay. Where's my screen share? Oh, right, okay.
Are you going to watch this call back?
Maybe. Maybe. I think my internet is being really slow. So hang on a minute.
If it doesn't work, can you record it on your phone and then post it on the team page?
Oh yeah, probably. I'll probably do it. Hang on. Screen share, come on. Sorry everyone, I should have some music to go to wait to. Should I post it on the page? It doesn't seem to work. Oh, hang on. Okay. Oh, here we go. Can you see that? Everyone see that?
Well, it's doing it. It should do it in a minute.
Tell me when you see something.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. There's me. Yeah, nice, Claire, nice. I will sing in a minute. I should have fast forwarded it a bit.
You have to record it on your phone as well because it's a bit jumpy on the Zoom.
Oh. Yeah, I'll stop it.
Record it on your phone as well, just because it's a bit.
It's being really jumpy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it on your phone
Let me
so we can see it properly.
Okay, let me stop sharing. There we go. You've got it back, Danny. It's all yours.
Great. Okay, Claire, that was fabulous. The last couple of minutes, can you share about how you heard about Arbonne and why you decided to start your business?
Yes, I forgot that, didn't I? Okay. Yeah, so me and Danny just randomly made friends online. I think we were on a breastfeeding or a vegan group or something, and we said we're both support women doing breastfeeding because I was still doing the breastfeeding NHS job by then. And we kind of connected. We became friends online. She commented on my post, and I thought, who's this lady?
I thought Claire was really funny.
And yeah, and then I saw her posting about her life and how she had more freedom and more time with her family. And because I knew I was leaving my job and I had to leave my job, I was looking to do something anyway that meant I didn't have to physically go to work, because I I needed to, my mother-in-law needed to not look after the kids. And I knew that, my little Sam, my littlest, gets recurrent tonsillitis. So even having a job in school hours wasn't a massive option for me because I knew he'd be off a lot anyway. So I just messaged her and asked her what she did, and then she told me about Arbonne, and I was like, oh, I'm in. I didn't even have a hesitation. My husband did. He went, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, and you can do it if you want, but you're being taken for a fool. And now he thinks it's great. So yeah, we went to a DA together with Scott Campbell and Leanne Davis, and they were brilliant. And like, me and Danny were sitting there going, oh, this is great, it's brilliant, oh my god, I can't believe it. And it was great. It was full of all these people in a room that were the happiest people I've ever met in my entire life. And I was like,
Claire, you fit in so well.
I know, I was like, these people are on happy crack and I want happy crack. So yeah, that's how I joined as soon as I could. Me and my husband haven't really got any spare money at all, but as soon as I got paid, I was at the end of the month, I was like, 56 quid, I'm there. And yeah, that's how it discovered Arbonne, really. Thank you, Danny.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you. You bring so much joy and happiness to our team. You're just such a wonderful person. You're so friendly. You're so genuine. You're so helpful. And you really are like this ray of sunshine that we have in our team. And I speak on behalf of everybody that we're very lucky not only to have you in the team, but to have your friendship as well. You are just so lovely. Like, I could just like squeeze you.
Oh, thank you. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it was a bit long, a little bit ranty. Sometimes I get a bit overexcited and go and talk really fast. So my husband peeked his head round when I first started doing it and went, slow down. I was like, oh, okay.
Right, okay, well, we haven't got any time left to have a chat because Claire's took over the whole hour call, but that's okay. It was well worth it. So I'm going to end this call and I'll share the recording up afterwards, and then it's the 9 o'clock one. It's actually me hosting and training on the 9 o'clock one, so you're in for a treat tonight. For the past 2 weeks, I've been putting together this training for 9 o'clock, so it's going to be a good one, I promise. All right, thank you again, Claire. See you all at 9 o'clock.
Bye.